The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Tiger Technician Hour with your host, Basil Chapman. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Now, Basil Chapman.
Hi, folks. This is the Tiger Technicians Hour on this Friday, the 24th. I just finished doing a Tommy show, the morning market kickoff. He was unable to do it. We've got the Dow at 409.31, all-time high, 47,141. This is... Okay, so Tiger Technicians Hour, this is the Friday edition. We do a little bit more intensive Shamwave methodology. So let me show you. So we had that 47,049 high on the 3rd of October. We had that big smash to the downside. We went down to 45,452, and then we started moving up. And what I said, I'm going to start off with a small rectangle, then I'm going to do the big rectangle, and it says that within the rectangle, you could make a V-shaped pattern and have a rally all the way back. But what's happened over the last... now, one thing I must say is that I followed markets, intraday, daily. No matter where I've been in the world, I'll if I'm able to, I'll pull out my cell phone or whatever, and I'll be looking. And I've always practiced guessing at what the price of the Dow is on my next pickup of my phone or wherever I am. And I try to be as accurate as I can, just based on it's sitting out there in the back of my head, doing the calculations, and I'll make a price and I'll see if I can get it. But this is the first time I can remember in all of my history of watching markets, which I've done all my adult life, even when I wasn't in the market, which is not really true because I've been in the market for a long, long time. The thing that's happening now is something that I've seen before, but created by other areas. But this is the first time that I've had a president who is able to vocalize the next move for the market with such intensity and with such, there's no periodicity to it. You don't know when it's going to come. That the vicissitudes, the fluctuation of the market has been, even when there was a whole thing with impeachments, it was other people talking about it. But this is the president, which means that the action is so immediate that for those people who are going short, I think more people must have lost more money going short this market. And I'm talking about this market, when I actually say this market, I'm talking about, say, from January, right? And not made any money on the upside. But the folks who had good positions and just stayed in those positions can see very nice gains because they come back. So if you've got good stocks, they come back so quickly. So one of the reasons why when we've been short, we've made it with a tighter stop, and very rarely have we done it, and we've done it kind of with an index. For instance, we went short the Dow just as a trade, 2 mornings ago, was it? Yeah. And we just got taken out, and it's a 1.5. It's just a very small percent, and I treated this as a very short term. This wasn't actually a market trade. It was just because there was signals that if yesterday didn't suddenly turn to the upside, I even wrote and I even discussed it on my show. I said the market has pulled back so short. Those big winners like Robinhood, etc., that had screamed to the upside over the last week or so, they have had big 20%, 15, 20% declines from the big move up. It doesn't look too bad when you're looking at the chart, but wow, that was a big move. And I said, is today going to be, that was yesterday, today going to be a move to the upside where the those big hits that were taken, and this could even include some gold stocks, have a rally, and then the markets reciprocate and they join in? which is exactly what happened. But if it didn't happen, that would have meant that we could have pulled back sharply, and that would have been a negative even going into today. But of course, the CPI had this big push to the upside, and that's the speed with which we turn around. But I didn't want to disturb our long position, so I had this almost as a separate thing, as an insurance policy. So it took a little loss. But even yesterday, the winners more than made up for the tiny little loss. And that's the way you have to do it, because I don't see any other way. And you can even see in these charts. Look at this. Yeah, let me show you. This is even a better one. Oh, you can see it in the Dow, but the one that was this S&P. I mean, look at this weekly chart of the S&P. It looks like nothing. It's actually one of the most beautiful charts you could ever see. This is a pattern that I've studied going back. I think it was either Eli Lilly or Merck, way back in the 80s or something, where they were just climbing to the upside, and they had this worm. It's like a little worm climbing up a tree. You just see it going, doop, 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 tiny little moves, but moving higher, moving higher. And what happens in a case like this, when it finally turns down, it either has such a bad news that it looks a little bit like that candle over there, the candle of the daily chart candle, right here, the day that 10-10, where Trump, we were actually short the Dow on that, going into that day on the Thursday. I think that was a move. And yeah, so what we're looking at here is something very different. It's a steady move to the upside. And now you've got a Chapman wave instant restart. Within 3 bars, you made a higher high. And that says you can call this E/A or an F, and the next move now is an F/B. But actually what happens in a case like this, even though I'm going to put it in, because technically this is what I do in the Chapman wave after an instant restart, it actually looks like a C. We won't know if it's a C because of the steadiness of the move. And when the higher you go from peak D in an instant restart to a peak E, the greater the chances are it'll just keep going at least to a G, and then you're going to make a decision. All right. So all I'm saying is that this is all of those down moves. At the time they felt terrible, but they repaired within 1 bar. Here again, 1 bar. So look at the red candles, very few, and they were deep, and then they changed. Oh, these were not deep. All right? Okay, I just wanted to show you that in the historical context, the charts are saying that the monthly charts can only make a peak D if every other month has a higher high. In June, it would be D, and May would be a peak D. And it never happens in monthly charts. You just don't get that. Now, I have to clarify. If instead, coming up, when this finally makes a peak E, I'm looking at the S&P, and it takes a dive, it'll be negated if it took out the 4835.04. 48. Why did I put that in there? 4835.04 April low. Well, it won't do that. I don't think it'll do that without going to a B, C, and a D. Okay, but it could all go all the way back to 629, which is the 9-period exponential moving average. It then could go back to the 6125 black 14-period moving average. So yeah, it could have a steep pullback. It pulled back for 3 months. I'll be back. Dow's at 411.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Everyone, we're back. Let's just go to a couple of things. I had a bunch of questions, of course. Let me just do this. So the question came in BKKT Holdings, digital assets, crypto trading, payments, leg C in the monthly chart with a big long wick candle. Looks like a dragonfly almost candle. A peak. I'm calling this an E. It could be an A. At this point, I think it's an E. I think we're in for quite a hiatus here in the crypto area. BKKT daily 30.20 up $1.62. Look at that. It's got this down, lower highs and lower highs with a sudden pop to the upside, gives it back, dreaded H pattern. I just don't think so. Let me just show you something. So BTC, Bitcoin, struggling. It's down $45 right now at 110,360. I just think it's going nowhere for a little while, more likely lower highs and lower lows. And then it should start a move to the upside, making this weekly chart like a peak D. Remember, peak D is where other things can happen. And this is the most serious decline we've had in a while from this leg D. And then I think you go into something like that. And then there's a rally, and if it can ever take out the halfway marker towards 118,500, it's trading at 110,100. You know this moves so quickly. It could do that in an hour. I don't think it's going to. I think the upside's limited. But if it can get into this area, then that's going to be very important. Until it does that, I think chop, ETH, the same thing, Ethereum, up 59 cents at 36.94. Peak A in the monthly chart, that's just because it started as an IPO only in 2024, but a peak D with lower lows and lower highs in that weekly chart. And I did use this as a phantom peak. It's Chapman Wave Technical Friday. So let me just say the high that was made the week of the 25th of July of 36.41 and the very slightly, the 36.45 in August high. I treated that as a phantom peak because my other indicators, especially the on-balance volume, gave a little V-shaped turnaround and a little hiccup in the RSI, said, you know what, get to the D because you don't want to be at C where it should be a D. and waiting for the D to come, and you've already taken 2 months and you haven't gotten there, and you made lower lows and lower highs. Therefore, I developed this technique that says there are just occasions, rare occasions. Rare should be rare, right? But rare is very, rare. And rare is just really rare. In a weekly chart or a monthly chart, daily is a little different, and 1 minute charts are very different, where I would use the phantom peak and I make it a change of colors. So in the Chapman wave technique, this is a legitimate way to use your technique. It's not like I'm form-fitting, sneezing. Didn't sneeze, it'll come. So that says that really is a well-identified peak D, even though it should be technically C. I don't know how a computer would adjust that. I can do that in a split second, but computers have not yet developed that to make it only in this case. Otherwise, they put it in every case. You'll end up with these phantom peaks everywhere. I don't know. I hope to work, and I haven't found a way of getting ChatGTP to join to my TradeStation or any platform. I just have to figure out how to do it so that I can just immediately use ChatGPT on the trading platform as a trading platform, even if it's whatever it takes. I just haven't figured it out yet. I will. And then I can do all these techniques and I can start to hone in and refine it. Anyway, what we're looking at is that's a D, and I don't think this is a very good thing. If at any point Ethereum goes under 34, it's a problem. In your case, BKKT, it's a slightly different thing, but it looks pretty much the same pattern. If BKKT takes out 17 is the 200-period exponential moving average. We're at 29. That's 12 points down. That's like that's a very steep pullback. But I'll do it in very short term. If this closes under 25 in the next week and a half, it's done for quite a while. If it holds and instead rallies to 35.50, that says, hey, we're in this trading band with low lows and lower highs. That's a much better sign. Okay, done. Next question came in. LI. It's LI. Did I read that wrong? LI? Yeah, LI Auto at the low of most recent low. Look, this chart almost looks like the BKKT. It had a pop and fell, dreaded H pattern, and it took it out. So trading at 21.79, this is LI Auto. I think this is Chinese. It looks Chinese, and it goes together with XPEV, one of the big Chinese auto companies, trading up a little bit, but it's still stuck in a range. It's attempting at any point, if it takes out 20.50, that is really bad. It's trading at 21.80, up 33 cents. However, if it starts to trade, it can't just go there. It has to trade above this ugly candle of the 10th of October. 22.50 was the high, 20.85 was the low. It has to be trading in the 22.90 to 23 area. And it has to do that in October. We got just over a week to go. This is what how long do we have left in October? Oh, we've got next week. We're done. 31. The 31st is on Friday, a week from today. So if within a week from today, if it closes once, that's okay. But if it closes twice above 22.50, then you've made your cup formation and you can go to the next bar and say, okay, tackle the bar that goes to 23.54. So far, I'm just looking at this and I'm saying sideways action. NIO, NIO, yeah, it's exactly the same thing. Sideways action. Probably going to make an H pattern if it takes out this low of the 16th, which is at 6.28. NIO is the symbol, NIO Inc. Auto Company, trouble. Talk about auto companies. I was mentioning this when I did Tommy's show yesterday, that General Motors is really good. This is economically, not economically, in the economy of the United States, to see a U.S., of course, we know that there are so many parts not from the U.S., but a U.S. company doing so well. And I have this thing with Barra. She was the old school, but I must say she has slowly but surely turned this company around. I am impressed because I didn't think the old school could do it. I just thought they were stuck in thinking the wrong way. But she's done this. I'm impressed. We don't own it. I've wanted to own it for a long time. It looked terrible. Then it has this big move up. What did you chase it? Maybe, yeah. Look at the Ford. I spoke about Ford yesterday. At 13.55, it hasn't seen 13.55 since 2024. That ugly inverted Chapman wave red Roman candle from the, wow, that was January? Oh, no, that was July of 2024. High of 14.85 and a low of 10.72. I would say that's a bit of a pullback, right? Okay, now we've gone into the candle. Not only that, this works within 1 or 2 bars. We are now a year and a half or something away, but I think that the principle should be the same. But I'm going to make it a different count. For Ford, if Ford is able to close on a weekly basis above 13.70, that's on a weekly basis, it has a really good chance of going to the high of 14.85. That was the high of July of 2024. Support is in the 13.10, 12.50 area. I'll be back in a moment. Basil Chapman, Dow's up.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
This portion of the Tiger Technicians Hour is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
So at this particular point, I want you to do a bunch of things. I have some questions, but I also want you to do, this is live, I want you to show you the techniques in Chapman Wave method. Everything I was discussing earlier on about the rectangle formation, I actually did quite a bit of this in Tommy's show. What happens if you get a big spike to the upside, or you've made a peak and then you pull back sharply? If you start to make higher highs and higher lows, there's a chance that you can go just under, right on, or just above the previous high. That's it. Usually it's from a peak D, E, or F, but that's what you're going to look for. And then within the rectangle formation, if you've failed under that, you've got to start looking at the arch formation. And that's why the breakout today of the indices to higher highs, sharply higher highs, above that arch formation, above the rectangle within the arch, that's really important. Look what happened in the 1 minute chart. So here's the 1 minute chart. Had this news-related 8:30 spike to the upside, and then it pulls back. Anyway, I'm taking you into this arch formation. So I was talking about the plumb line. So in this particular instance, let's just say I'm here. So I go from the left side and I say, okay, so there's your peak E, and it gets retested with a tiny doji candle. So let's go from here to there, to the doji candle, just after peak E, and see if we can make an arch, and this becomes the plumb line right there with the double top test. And we'll see if there's a chance that it actually makes an H, meaning there's an arch formation like that from that low. And let's see if I can go click right there, change the color to pink, put it in here, and see if this is what we hit. There's your plumb line, right? Right there. So this is a technique I developed a long time ago. So I'll put it in over there. And now let's go to the side. Oh, now then I want the Chapman Wave inside track. I'm going to skip that for the moment. I want the Chapman Wave inside wedge, target support line, dashed pink target support line to come from the penultimate peak. That's this peak right here at D. And I want it to go across and join the pink line. Well, as I move across, all I can say is that, should I extend it out? I'm not. That pink line, let me show you what I'm doing. I'm making this pink right here. Now, this is either where some of you out there are switching off and you say, I just tell you, do I buy or do I sell? No, if you want to learn techniques, I'm showing you techniques. This is a lesson. I'm giving you a lesson. And we'll see what happens, right? So look what happens. You pull back, and I would have joined that line. Where's the line? It's right there. Did it hit? No, it didn't. It missed it by 1 minute. It's a 1 minute chart. Bam, it went right through it. Okay? So this is a technique. What do? I join the other side. I would have done this beforehand. I couldn't because you would have seen the result. There it is. So there's a technique. And what it says is you should move to the next key visual. What's that? The 200-period moving average. Well, so far, it's bounced just off it. The on-balance volume gave you a nice V-shaped turnaround. The stochastic's improving. The histogram of the MACD is improving. The 9-period moving average under the 14 is still very weak, but there's a chance where we've just turned around. Not good enough to really say that you've turned around meaningfully. You would have to look at all this cluster of resistance at 68.30. If we can get to 68.32, it says it's going to retest the high, probably the high of the day. But it's going to be tough because we've got to get all these things done. All right, I did that live. I just wanted to show you that And here it is in miniature at a peak D in the arch formation in the 5-minute chart, and there's only a leg B, so far peak B, gray peak B under the previous high in the 10-minute chart. Enough. I want to do that because that allows you to look at the daily, weekly, monthly in the regular charts. Okay, question came up. Where did it go? Could I look at, so I did that. Here we go. Good, I got this in time. It went right to the right email. Hi, Basil. Can you look at IBM? It seems to be a major force along with Google in quantum computing. Do you think buying IBM instead of the more speculative QBTS and RGTI is a better idea? Best regards, Eddie. Eddie, I have it written down right here from intraday yesterday and in the evening about IBM. Some of you might remember, some of you are regaling me because I spoke about IBM as one of those the year 2000 stocks that were just they were the ones, that is Microsoft, include IBM, but you had all the AOLs and all those stocks that failed, and some of the Cisco, and some of them took a 90% hit. And then they came back. And I said, every decade I keep hearing about, I've met people from IBM, and they keep telling me that there's a turnaround coming. I remember being at near West Point. I don't remember what it was, a wedding at a hotel just near West Point. And I bumped into a guy who worked for IBM, and he said, oh, yeah. I said, how things are? You work for IBM? I said, oh, yeah, turn around. Huh? He said, oh, man, are we turning around? It was whatever it was at the time, the hot thing. Man, IBM, well, they just did everything wrong. They were like the General Electric after when Immelt ran it and did everything wrong. And then all of a sudden there was this basing area, and IBM took off. And I said, IBM is going to be the metamorphosis of this particular decade. And we didn't go long. I can't believe it, because it's taken its time, but I think everything that it's doing is coming right. Information technology, AI, cloud, enterprise software. They're there. And it made an all-time high just on around about the 6th or so of October, and then it pulled back, and then it had that horrible dip, I think, after earnings. It went from 301.04 on October the 7th, to the low of the 23rd yesterday of 263, and now it's trading at 295. I'm going to say yes. Well, it was a long way. I should just say yes or no. Yes, absolutely. Now, the question is, do I think it is buying instead of, I would say keep this as a core position. So this is a peak A and a B, and that fails. This is a brand new A, gray A, because I'll take time. It's worth it. A lot of you are interested. I'll be back. Dow's at 346. We'll be back looking at IBM.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019. finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds for both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Well, folks, we're looking at IBM. A question came in about whether or not this is the one to buy rather than some of these smaller caps that have been absolutely hot and then took a real big dive recently. I would just say I would keep this as a core position. And the reason why I would keep it as a core position, look at this. It has potential for an instant restart here, which means this is G/C. It should only go to D after you make a peak coming up, whenever that is, maybe November, whatever. Most importantly, I love this pattern. And this cup formation says, yes, it could have a pullback at some point, like a cup and handle. Not one of my favorite patterns, but it's still a possibility. And that means that it could pull back, and this is going to be a Chapman wave Roman candle, green Roman candle to the upside if it closes anywhere around here today. So I'm just looking at this and I like it. So the answer is yes. Now, I need to see 301.05 for me to say, okay, brand new move to the upside in the daily chart. Weekly chart is still very positive. This I've got this as a D, but it's got a peak C1, C2. That's another thing I don't want to discuss right now. I should, but I don't have time. This, I think, is probably an A. If it goes to 301.05, I'm going to call that a B in the weekly chart. That's going to be really positive. So, yes, I do like it, but it is what you're asking me, is this a buy and hold? That's so difficult to say in the market because a lot of things can happen. But my answer is, it should be a buy and hold because of the way the 9-period moving average, since it crossed positive back in July of 2023, it was back in the 131 area, 141. It's just been, the green has been fabulous. To go red, it's going to have to really tank to the 205 area. And so far, it looks really good. So, yes, I like it. And all I can say is, yes. Now, let's go to the ones that you discussed. So this is a QBTS. QBTS is D-Wave Quantum Computing. I never remember the symbol because it's I never put the two together, but it's good. 46.47 was the high on the 16th. It came tumbling down. I think this is more digestion to do. So it could pop to 37. If it goes to 40.10, it's on its way back up. But if it just stalls, which I think is happening here, there's a Chapman wave red Roman candle. On any day that it closes below 30.44, there's a good chance it's going to test the low that was made recently in the 26, 27 area. But so far, that's what I'm really looking at. What was the other one? RGTI, same thing, rigatoni. Oh, wait, rigatoni is would be a kind of a food, right? Is Rigetti Computing Inc., leg C in the monthly chart, peak E in the, and also with the Chapman Wave red Roman candle. That means that there's a tiny little wick, big red body, and then more than half of the body is a wick to the downside. So it made a peak E with a little double top right there. So it goes to 58.15. Round number 50 low. The next day it had a lower high, and then it comes tumbling down. There's the round. I've been looking for round numbers. There are not too many with round numbers at the recent high. Yeah, same thing. So I am looking at IBM as probably the leader, and then you could use these as trading vehicles, completely separate to the IBM trade. All right, got that going. Next question will be right here. Oh, I just want you to see the VIX index and the TRIN index. No, we're doing okay. Good. All right. So, another question came in. Forgot to look down at my notes. Did that. Yeah, so a question came in. You had mentioned RR the other day. That's not Rolls-Royce, although let me just see. Race is Ferrari. Look at that. G/C turns out to be a peak G in the 500s, recent all-time high. But that all-time high that was made back in August, I think. No, July of this year at 56 open. Oh, I got it here. That's right. Ferrari made, is this the day? Hey, what happened? Oh, it was, yeah, okay. Yeah, so this is very interesting. Ferrari makes an all-time high on the 19th of May of 725.25. Why did I put, oh, that was dumb. I put it 518.79. I don't know what I did. 518.79. Okay. And then it comes tumbling down, gaps down, tries to fill the gap, can't fill the gap, then does fill the gap, but as it fills the gap, it turns around in the low 500s. So look at that, being very, very weak. So I got to that because the symbol RR was mentioned. I got to that because I also wanted to show this just recently. Here's another gap for Ferrari, and I don't know how it's going to fill that gap. So I treat Ferrari always as something completely separate to the market, or in a sense it gives me, it just tells me maybe what's going on with the wealthy. But Ferrari is not necessarily the billionaire class. It is young people who have made money and trying to, they love sporty things, and so it's something very different. But I do use it kind of as a benchmark for myself. So there are things that I'm going to talk about, but I don't want to do that because I just had questions to come in right now. So let me go to them. The next question, so I did that. ITT, this is the information. Here we go. ITT trading at 177.15 up at $1.65. I mean, this is one that I would have had notated. If I never lost any information, it would still be notated to this day. Leg A up in the monthly chart. That's really good. This is ITT Inc. And just gapped up. So did this go to a peak T? Here we go. So the weekly chart is peak A, peak B, peak C, D, E, F. So that's an instant restart. That's an F/B. That is doing very well. I think it's going in for a little bit of a digestive phase. I don't know if you're long or short. You just want an analysis. I would just put it into the category of if you're long from much lower down, don't do anything. If you want to get in, it's in this choppy phase, and I'm just going to suggest to you, let me do a little bit of work over the weekend, but as I see it, if it can, at 177, if we can close any day next week at over 179, that makes the 176 area support that's when I'll say to you, okay, we'll monitor now, because if the MACD turns positive and the 9-period moving average can turn positive, then it has a good chance to retest the high of 183.04 from the 3rd of October. Right now, I really can't say anything about the day. The weekly just says, what are you talking about? It just makes higher highs and higher lows. The first time it's tested the 14-period moving average between last week and this week since it broke out to the upside in May of this year, week of the 2nd. So I like it, but just on a very short-term basis, those are the numbers that it needs to do. And definitely, if it closes under 173, don't touch it for the moment as a new position. Next question came in. Let me see if I can get to it quickly. For what it's worth. NVTS. So this is in the computing area, NVTS. I don't know if I put down what it does. No, I didn't. But it had made a peak D. This is Navitas.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento. A pro's pro with over 50 years of experience, Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
So I haven't got a sell signal for Navitas trading at 14.09, up 47 cents. Navitas Semiconductor designs, manufactures, develops next generation chips, etc. I think it's digesting huge gains, and that's all I can say. If it does get to 15.88 in the next couple of days, that's very important. That'll be good, and say it's working towards its high, that all-time high that was made just the other day. But if it starts to pull back, I've got this in a rectangle. If it makes a dreaded H if it starts to pull back under 1280. 1280s, well, first of all, 1350 would be the one to watch, and then 1280. But if it does that, it just says it's taking a time out, well-deserved time. And look at this massive move to the upside. Okay, so just as we're about to finish, let me go through a couple of things. This is becoming even more selective in terms of what we're looking at short term. We've got your leg C in the down, the S&P. It should go to a D next week, but the overall picture is in the monthly that there are higher highs to come into 2026. We're only a leg A, going to at least a D in the monthly charts of most of the major indices. Shorter term, we got to look at this and say, okay, selective. We had some very sharp moves to the upside with big pullbacks in some of the stocks like a Robinhood. They've had a pretty decent bounce. If they can continue, look, Robinhood's given back a chunk of the bounce today. It went to 142.20, now it's at 137. I should say we are still long from way down. We'd like to add to it. We haven't done that yet. So these are the stocks that have spectacular moves, and they're digesting, and I think that's really important. So what happened today, very big move to the upside. We could give back some, but with President Trump, you have a lot of volatility, which corrects itself very quickly. And we will see at some point, I think coming fairly soon, that the wolf thing is going to come out, where people say, you know what, all of a sudden, it's not turning back up within a day or two. It's starting to make lower lows and lower highs. We haven't got there yet. When that bad news comes along, then you can expect a deeper pullback. But so far, market is showing tremendous strength. So I'm going to wrap it up now. Say